What's going on? What's going on? I know y'all see it on the screen. You know what I'm saying? This is 12 Gates Credit Solutions. You know what I'm saying? I'm Tazai Wan, and I got my main man, you know what I mean, Chi, in the building tonight, man. And we're going to talk about everything credit. You know, make sure y'all share this video as much as y'all can. You know, share it to the different platforms, you know, because this can give a lot of value to, you know, brothers and sisters out there, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that might not necessarily have the education on credit and how to build credit and what is credit building and what are those things, those different components. So if y'all ever see me out in the street, man, just always remember to ask me, man, how I can fix your credit, all right? Give me 1 second, all right? So look, I'm going to go ahead and get some things ready, and I'm going to go ahead and play this video for y'all, all right? And then as soon as I'm done, as soon as the video is done, we're going to go ahead and get started, all right? Let me see what I got. Let me play something for him real quick. All right. Okay, there we go. Who we got in here? All right. Like I said, matter of fact, we ain't going to go to no song. All right. This is all things credit. Make sure y'all share it, man. And don't forget to ask me how I can fix your credit. All right. So, you know, I'm Tazai Wan, and I am a serial entrepreneur. And what I do is we created a business called 12 Gates Credit Solutions, where we help brothers and sisters to get educated on credit, how and on credit repair, how to fix your credit, how to have financial literacy so that we ultimately can have the scores that we want so we can go into these banks and get the money that we need for, you know, our mortgage, our first home, for insurance, not insurance, but for car, auto loans, for whatever it is. If you want to start a new business, you know, all those different things that we want to do. But the first thing you got to do is you got to have your credit score. You got to have your finances in order. All right. So the first thing I wanted to go into was how to fix your credit and what does it consist of. All right. Now, one of the components of credit repair is credit building. So that means, like, you know, how you getting like Capital One cards, you getting Discover cards, you know, you getting most of the time when you just starting out with something, you could get a secured card. Capital One is a good card that you can start off with, something that you can get like for $100 down, and they'll give you like a credit line of $300. And then you buy like gas, you buy like small things with it, and you pay it, and it's a revolving debt that you're paying back. And while you're paying this back, what Capital One does is it reports to all three of the major credit bureaus, which is TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, right? So that's the one asset, one of the components of credit building. The other one is consistent money management, because you have to have consistent money management, meaning that you have to know what your finances are and what you're actually dealing with on a day-to-day basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. So you want to get all those things in order. All right. The other thing is removing derogatory items off of your credit that's weighing your credit down. Right. So that's the main, those are the three components of credit repair. So if you come to 12 Gates Credit Solution, what we're going to do is we're going to look at your credit report. Right. And I'm going to see the derogatory things that are on your credit that's weighing your credit down, whether it be inquiries, whether it be collections, charge-offs, whether it be late payments, all those different things. So the one thing y'all got to understand is this, right? When you the way credit bureaus, they score you, right? The way that they score you is through what they call your FICO score, right? And your FICO score is determined is dependent upon the information that they get from the credit bureaus, right? So you can either get a score from 300 all the way up to 850, right? And so the brother or the sister that's trying to get their credit together, you can start at a 300, right? But you have 550 points that you could possibly get from the beginning, and you can end up you know, in the 850s. All right. Now, if you don't have credit, that's not necessarily a bad thing because you can build credit. So a lot of brothers and sisters that I see their credit report, they might not have the best score, but they don't have credit actually established. So if that happens, then we can take the approach of adding positive lines of credit to your credit, to your credit profile, so that you can start getting these things reported to the credit bureaus, and you can build your credit like that, right? But if you got a bad credit score, which is like a 5, and if you're in the 500s or the 400s or whatever it is, then we would have to look at the derogatory items on your credit report, and we would have to see how long these derogatory things have been on your credit report. So usually the way that the credit bureaus pretty much determine where you at is by what is on your report within the last 36 months. So that's about 3 years. It's 3 years. So if there's anything that is below the 36 months, we'll leave it alone, because what matters is what is on there and reporting within the last 3 years. So those things is what we'll start to attack. Those things are what we'll start to send validation out to the credit bureaus, and they'll have to prove that this debt is yours, and then that's how we start, right? With credit repair, we leverage the FCRA. And if you never heard of the FCRA, it's the Federal Credit Reporting Act. All right. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Go ahead, man. Introduce yourself, man.
Oh, man. I'm Chichi. Part of 12 Gates Credit Solution.
Yeah.
Fellas, the main thing for you to buy anything here in the United States, is to have credit.
That's right.
If you don't have no credit, no matter how much money you got, it's not value. It's not worth. Because the day that you're trying to buy a car, that you're trying to buy a house, if you don't have good credit nowadays, it's not worth it.
That's right.
They're gonna look at you like they don't know what you do. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. You get your credit right, and we can help you.
Right. And so what he's going to do is he's going to he's here for the Mexican brothers, the Puerto Rican brothers, the Cuban brothers, the Colombian brothers, the Venezuelan brothers, the Peruvian brothers, right? He's here to translate for those brothers who might want to get their credit fixed, all right? Because I was just talking to a sister from Puerto Rico, and she said that she needs some help with her credit. And so we transcend all, state lines, whatever countries you know what I mean, you can go to 12gatescreditsolutions.com and you can get your credit fixed, and we can give you the consultation. All right. We can translate in Spanish or whatever. So, all right. So the FCRA, right? Now, the FCRA is the Federal Credit Reporting Act, right? Now, under this act, number one, everything has to be 100% verifiable on your credit report, right? Everything has to be right. So if they say that you owe this debt, it has to be all the way together. They can't say you owe something and not be able to validate that debt, meaning that dates have to be right. Contracts, signatures, things like that. All those things have to be 100% verifiable. Another thing is, everything has to be 100% accurate, right? You can't have a credit report and it's, names are spelled wrong and, addresses are wrong and different things like that is wrong. It has to be 100% accurate. All right. Another thing, if these things aren't accurate under the FCRA, the Federal Credit Reporting Act, they must be removed. 100% be removed off of your credit report. Right. And it has to be 100% in a timely manner. Right. Now, if it's not done in a 100% timely manner, then we can take the next steps where we can put in complaints against the we can put complaints in against the furnishers. the credit bureaus and things like that. And that's one thing that they don't like when you start going that far. But of course, with credit repair, you definitely have to be consistent, and you have to be you have to have a lot of zeal, right? Because remember, we didn't get into this mess overnight. This is something that it took time to get into, so it's going to take some time to get out. But if you're willing to stick with it, you can definitely be in the 700 club. All right. Also, this is what the credit bureaus judge you off of, right? They judge you off of your late payments, your collections, your charge-offs, your inquiries, and different things like that on your report. So what a lot of people don't understand is, like, when you go in there and you go to that auto loan place or whatever to get a car, what that guy is going to do when you try to get that car is he's going to shop your credit report or your credit around to different lenders to try to see who's going to be able to give you the money that you need to get this car. Now, when they do that, that puts a whole lot of inquiries on your credit report. Now, if you say you get a bank account, you open up a new bank account, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll pull a full credit report, and that's a hard inquiry. Hard inquiries stay on your credit report for 24 months, all right? So you want to be careful on the hard inquiries. While you're getting your credit repaired, you don't want to start getting a bunch of new credit. You just want to chill, all right? Just chill, and we'll handle the rest, right? The first thing we want to do this is the first thing you want to do when you get your credit report. The first thing you want to do when you get your credit report is if you know how, like, when you look at your credit report, you see how you know how you see your name, mm-hmm. You'll see your old employment history. You'll see different places you lived throughout your life, right? All of that'll be on the first page of your credit report. The first thing you want to do is you want to get all of that off. The only thing you want to have on there is your name, right? Where you work now, where you live now, and probably like your phone number that you currently use now. And we got the letters that we can send off to the credit bureaus for you, to all three of the bureaus for you, to get all of that information taken off of your credit report. Because see, the thing is, when you got collections and you got all these different derogatory things on your credit report, that's what they can use to validate the debt. Because they can see, oh yeah, you was over here. Oh yeah, you was over there. Oh yeah, you went by this name. Oh yeah, they see the different places you were throughout your life, and that's how they can connect the dots and link you up to different collections and all those types of things that be on your credit report. All right. So the first thing you want to do is look at the name, look at the address, and look at all those things on there. Take all of that. Tell them that, hey, you got to take all of that off. And pursuant to the FCRA, and this is my address, this is everything, and that helps out a lot, because a lot of these these credit companies, these credit collection companies, that's how that's the only real way that they really have to know that you're you. All right. One of the mistakes, and before matter of fact, let me just keep going. All right. Now, once you on your road to fixing up your credit, right? The first thing you want to do is you want to add trade lines, right? Now, what's a trade line? Now, a trade line is an account that reports that you're paying it, right? That's a trade line, right? So like revolving credit, that's a trade line. They got websites like what's that website? Man, I can't even think of it right now. I just lost my train of thought. But they got websites out there that will give you secure loans, and you'll pay off the loan, and it's like secured. So say you pay, like, you get a secure loan for $5,000. What they'll report to the credit bureaus is that you have a trade line of $5,000. You don't get the $5,000 until you're done paying the loan off. Yeah, but it's a way for you to build your credit. All right. So you got trade lines, right? Also, this is the components of your credit score, right? The components of your credit score is payment history, right? You have to pay your credit cards off on time. Trust me, I know this because You know, I've been doing it for a long time, right? You do not want a late payment on your credit report, because if you get a late payment on your credit report, that's just one more thing that's on there, and late payments can stay on your credit report for 7 years, right? 7 years and 180 days. It's a long time, man. And so just think, if you get one now, a late payment now on your credit report is not coming off till 2028, like going into 2029, like halfway into the year of 2029. So you do not want late payments. All right. So your credit history, your credit payment history is 192 points, right? So it's 35% of your total credit score. So that's about 192 points, right? Because remember, the lowest credit score that you can get is a 300, and the highest you can get is an 850. So in between those two, you have 550 points that you could possibly have. Payment history makes up 35%. So that's possibly, if you just have good credit, good payment history, you can have 192 points available to you that you can make, right? So you don't want to miss out on that. The second thing is credit utilization, right? So if you get a credit card, and the credit card is for, let's say, I'm just gonna give you an example. It's for $100, right? You got a $100 credit line. You can't spend no more than $30, right? You can't spend no more than $30, because if you have higher than 30% utilization on your credit cards, it's going to lower your score, because to the credit bureaus, it's going to look like you need credit. And the one thing that the credit bureaus and everybody that's out there that's trying to give you money, they want to give you money. They want to give money to people that don't need it. They don't want to give money to somebody who needs to use it. All right. So credit utilization is 30% of your credit score, right? That's a possibility of 165 points, right? So you got 192 points for credit history, right? For your payment history. And then you got 165 points possibly that you can get just for having low credit utilization. Now, how you lower your credit utilization is usually you add more credit cards, right? So that you'll have a higher credit limit. So if you use 100, 200 bucks, 300 bucks, it won't necessarily affect you in the overall. But this is the thing, it's the card. So if the card is $1,000 and you spend $400, you didn't went over the 30%, and now you're going to take a hit, and you can lose like 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points. All right. So you want to watch your credit utilization. You want to definitely keep it below 30%. The third is the length of your history. A lot of people get jacked up when they try to. I know you're trying to do the right thing when you have a bunch of credit cards and you like, well, I'm gonna just close this credit card out. And you don't want to do that, because when you do that, say you might have had this credit card for 6 years. Now you have 6 years of credit history, right, on this credit card. Now, if you cut it off, that credit history goes too. So the best thing you should do is maybe just get gas. If it's a credit card that you don't use, just get gas every other week or something like that, and then just pay back the $20 or whatever, $30, and then they'll just report that to the 3 credit bureaus, and then you can still have the positive utilization. You can still have the positive payment history, and you can still have the positive credit history, right? Because when you cut off a card that you had for 6 years, 8 years, or something like that, you cut off 8 years of positive payment history and credit history, and you take a dip in your score, man. It's like you got to really watch it and be on everything if you want to get to the 700 club. You cannot, just think you're going to get there without, tightening up everything, right? You have to tighten up everything. All right. And also the length of your history, that's 15% of your credit score, 15%. So that 15% is 32.5 points, right? So number 4 is credit file mix, right? So when you got a on your credit report, you want to have a mix of different accounts. This shows lenders that you're responsible, right? So you want to have revolving credit. So that's more so like credit cards. You want to have a few credit cards, 4 credit cards or whatever. I think I got like I got about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4. I got 4 credit cards. So out of those 4 credit cards, what I do is I utilize them all, but I only that utilization that I use is like say for one, I got just my auto payment for my cell phone. So every month is gonna show $43 on that. So I can pay that back. And then my other one has like my Amazon Audible. Like I got Audible on Amazon. So that just shows every month $14.95 for Audible every month. So I'm just paying that back. And then I believe I got Orkin, I got something like that, like where it's just giving me positive. That's the only thing that's on my credit cards. So it's just showing positive payment history. They looking at it. Oh, everything's being paid on time. Why? Because I got automated payments, right? Which is great. All right. But you also so you want to have revolving credit. You want to have installment loans, like an installment payments. So that's like a mortgage. If you got a mortgage, something like that you're, like some sort of like a loan that you're paying back, and it's reporting that you're paying this debt every month. That's positive, right? That shows the mix. If you have a car loan, right, the car loan is going to show. So if you got all 3, it's a mix of your credit, and it's showing different things as reporting. Your credit is your credit will start to go up. Even in Experian right now, you can add your phone to it. You can add Hulu. You can add Netflix, and you can add like Stars, all the streaming apps you can add, and that can boost your score right away. So I did it, and it boosted my score like 13 points right away. So you can take advantage of that, because usually those streaming services, we usually have them on automatic payments, right? Like HBO Max and different things like that. You can go on Experian and go to Experian Boost, and you can use that to boost your credit score up too. I believe I even got my cable. I even got cable on it now. You know what I mean? Hold on. This is the part of the show where we take Here's to the 700 Club.
Woo.
There's to the 700 Club.
700 Club.
Yeah, you want to get there, it's going to take work.
You got to join.
Yeah, it's going to take work.
You
ain't
gonna part of it.
Yeah, you didn't get a 500 credit score last night, right? For some of you did last night. It took a while to get there. So this is why we're here to help you out, right? So your credit file mix is going to be 10% of your overall score. So that's 55 points that you can have by having a mix of credit that you're paying off every single month on time. So you want to automate that thing, because we all got busy lives, and sometimes you might forget. So you want to automate that thing so that you can constantly get the credit going, so they can see it, right? Because the credit bureaus don't want you to have good credit. They want you to have poor credit, because this is how they make money. The lenders go to the credit bureaus to get the list of people who have subprime credit. And these people are called subprime lenders. So subprime lenders are going to go to the people who have the worst credit scores. And who has the worst credit scores? Blacks and Hispanics, right? Because out of all the bad credit, we're 48% of bad credit. So that's why you got payday loan places in the hood. You know what I'm saying? You got Rent-A-Center in the hood. Yeah, you got all those different rent places where you pay, $1,500 for a toaster. The reason why those places are in the hood is because they're predatory. They prey upon poor people so that they can give you something worth this and get more interest off of it on top of it. So they give you a $20,000 car, and they add another $10,000 on top because you got a bad credit score. So the credit bureaus do not want you to have good credit. All right. Inquiries. right? Inquiries is worth 10% of your overall credit score. So you want to watch your inquiries. Now, a soft inquiry don't really affect your credit score. So that's kind of like where they kind of look at your credit score just to see what this credit score is. Like, oh, they might check it and be like, okay, he got a 7, he got a 650, or she got a 680, or whatever it is that they need, right? So it's called a soft pull, right? A soft pull is, they just kind of checking your score. But when they do the hard inquiry, that pulls your full credit report. Now, when you get that on there, it takes points away from your credit score. So you do not want to waste inquiries. Meaning this, don't, just because you get that email that says, hey, look at your credit score, you can get this card right here. Just put in your social security number and you go there, because I've done it too. You go there and you go to Credit Karma or one of these sites that try to say, yeah, you can get pre-approved for this card. And then you fill it out, you fill out all your information in for the card, and they say you've been denied. So now that you've been denied, now you got a hard inquiry on your credit report that's going to stay there for 24 months, right? We're going to be coming out with videos to show you how to get around that, all right? So you do not want hard inquiries. If you're trying to get lending, like say for like a business or something like that, they want to, if you're trying to get funding for a business, you can't have more than 2 to 5 in a whole year. 2 to 5, roughly about like if you go to Bank of America, you can get funding if you got only 2 inquiries. That's all you can have for the whole year, because if you got a lot of inquiries, they look at it as you're desperate for credit. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying that you are desperate for credit, but that's the way that it looks on the profile. It looks like, oh man, look, he's trying to just go around everybody and get credit. But that 10% is 55 points on your credit score, on the overall credit score. So with all of these things added up, right? The 192, the 165, right? The 32.5, the 55 points, and the other 55 points, that adds up to the 550 points that you would need from a 300 credit score to get to an 850 credit score. Now, it's not easy, but it's doable, right? You just have to get your finances and every single thing in order, and you got to be on top of it, right? Because it's about constantly managing your finances, all right? So the first things first, if you want to get in contact with me, you can hit me up at 302-49, that's my own number, 302-467-8837, right? And you could book a consultation. I'll talk to you, 10, 15 minutes. We'll find out what's going on with your credit. Let me know your issue, and then we can move on from there. If you don't want the services, but you might want the letters that you need to, get all that, your addresses and everything off of the old addresses off of your credit report, and you need that, I can get those out to you. I can fill everything out for you, and I can send it out for you. All right. Just for a small fee, hit me up on the Cash App. All right. And also, if you got any questions, man, hit me up. Don't be afraid to ask any questions, because that's what I'm here for. All right. That's what we're here for. We're here to, help the brothers and sisters, man, to get right. The last thing, man, you got to understand this, man. The only way that you can fix a puzzle is if you take it apart, right, and put it back together. So with the whole credit thing, man, you got to understand every aspect of it. You got to understand how the game is played, because you can't win a war unless you know that you win one. All right. So with that being said, man, please share this video, man. Give a thumbs up if you found any quality, if you found anything, if you learned anything from this video, then share this joint for me. And you know what I mean? When we'll be right back, man. Look, join the 700 Club, man. Like I said, ask me, man. Ask me how I can fix your credit, man. Look, man, and to all the brothers and sisters out there, man, welcome to the 700 Club, man. We're going to get you there, all right? It's just going to take a little time, but you better be willing to work, man, like we're going to be willing to work. And with that being said, man, we're going to get up out of here, man, to the 700 Club.